Hey, welcome to the Honey and Harry Show. I'm Honey.
And I'm Harry, and I'm Mr. Producer tonight.
Yes, and tonight we have the most interesting guest. She is so cool. I mean, you really are. You were just so interesting. I've just been talking to her for the past 30 minutes, and I'm blown away with already the story, so I can't wait. But it's Rebecca Stechmann. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay, and I have Bonnie Brumfield, who is really good friends with her, who knows all her interesting stories. I've been knowing Bonnie for, how long, Bonnie?
15 almost.
15 years, yes. Dear friend, Bonnie knows all my secrets. And
And mine.
and hers too, yes.
She's got me into this podcast.
And she's the only person that can make me look like I have hair. Because I have the thinnest hair around. So, but anyways, welcome to the show, both of y'all. Thank you for coming.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to start with you, Rebecca, and Bonnie. You know, if she, you know, you can remember some
Holds
things.
back?
Yeah, don't let her hold back.
Okay.
She's very humble. We want to
I'm
hear.
the humble police.
Yeah, okay, you're the humble police. I'm glad you're here tonight. So, so she's a firefighter, and let's start with, she was giving me a patch. So, kind of tell me the story.
So I wanted to give you a patch for our fire department, and we wear it on one of our uniforms, our dresser shirt that we button up with our badge. But in fire department tradition, like if you go visit another state or city, you can go to a firehouse and be like, hey, I have this patch from my firehouse, and you trade patches or you trade T-shirts. So just like from
I love that.
my fire department.
There it is. Look,
I
love that. We're going to add it to
a little sussy. You can hang it in your studio.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud to have this. Oh my God. And look, we're going to put it right here for right now. You can't see it, Dad, right there. But anyways, no, we're going to keep it in here. Just like we've kept a couple of other things in our bookcase. Thank you for bringing that. That really does mean a lot to me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to kind of talk about, she's a fireman, I'm fire lady.
Just a firefighter.
Firefighter. I know, because like now, what's so cool now that women can do anything. And I love that. Like, it's not just the traditional jobs for women. Women can do whatever they want. And she also was in the Marines, right? So kind of tell us a little bit about your story. Like and I was asking her in the den, like, how do you even decide to become a firefighter? Because you were telling me on the phone, it's definitely a calling, and I agree with you. As much as I would want to help people and be a firefighter and do all the things that you do, I can't. I'm not brave enough, just to be honest with you. So kind of tell us your story.
I believe events in your life lead you to the path you're on today. Like,
absolutely.
So shapes who I am today is my path. So when I was in high school, pre-September 11th, I wanted to be in the Coast Guard. Like, I'm like, yeah, Coast Guard. My daddy was a Army brat. So my grandfather was in the Army, lifer. But I wanted to do Coast Guard. Well, September 11th happened. And I'm like, I don't want to do Coast Guard. I want to go overseas.
And
like,
how old were you?
I was in high school.
High school. Okay.
I was probably a sophomore. Maybe when it happened, or a junior.
So that was like shocking, September 11th.
Right.
Yeah. It was like everybody was freaking out.
And I'm like, I want to go. Well, I heard about the Marines. We had a Marine recruiter. And I'm like, the Marines, I really don't know much about them. I knew about the Army. I knew about the Navy. But not the Marines. Like, well, the Marines are the first to go and the last to leave. I'm like, oh, that's what I want to do. But like, not everybody can be a Marine. So I chased the recruiter down. Like, I want to be a Marine. And like, he played hard to get. Like, the other recruiters are like, hey, come here. And the Marine was like, I don't know. Not everybody can be. I don't know if you could be a Marine. But he knew what he was doing. I was like, what? You don't think I could be a Marine? Okay. And every time I saw him, I would like harass him.
Really?
And then showed up in his office, signed the papers, told my mom.
How old were you?
I was 18.
18.
Well, I went in boot camp when I was 19 because I tore my ACL, so I had to go in a little later.
Okay. Basketball?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I went in the Marine Corps, and I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan. It was my first duty station.
Wow.
I did communication. So I did like switchboard operator, ran cable from fiber optics, 26 pair, coax, for communications, or run phone lines, computer lines, all that stuff. So one of my really good friends and my mentor in the Marine Corps, he retired as a gunny sergeant, but he was a sergeant when I first checked in at 3rd MLG Headquarters Battalion Comm Company, was Sergeant Durbin. And he's from New York, from the Bronx.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah. So
that is so cool.
when I had leave, him and his wife and his family was taking leave in New York, and I'd never been to New York before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I wanna come visit. He's like, come out, we'll host you. So when I went to New York, his brother-in-law is a New York fireman. He was there for September 11th, you know? So he's like,
Really?
we'll go see Vega. We'll go see Juan at the firehouse. So I went there, and like, they were like, they thought we were cool because we were Marines, but me and Darren were like, y'all cool. Like, we ate dinner at the table. You know, they showed me all the trucks, the whole firehouse, heard some stories. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. And I was like, D, if I'm not a lifer, I want to be a fireman, right?
So that's what kind of got you interested in being a firefighter.
Right.
That. Well, because those guys did so much during
Right.
September 11th. Like, no one could prepare you for that.
I don't know if y'all remember the big tsunami in 2004
Yeah.
in December. So
Yeah.
I responded to that. So I'm not a combat veteran, but I did all humanitarian missions just because how they rotate units from deploying and where I was first.
Oh, gosh. Yes, I remember that.
So I was in Okinawa, and so they deployed us to Sri Lanka because Sri Lanka was hit, Thailand was hit, a few other places were hit with it. And I remember like, oh my gosh, like seeing all the destruction, and I was like, that's crazy, you know? And I'm like, I can't imagine that happening, you know? And then who would have known, almost a little less than a year, Katrina would hit.
Wait, was Sri Lanka the mudslide?
No, that was in the Philippines.
Okay.
No. So, Dad, can you pull up the fire department so people can see that?
Well, I have. Let's see. Well, I have.
the
I have
one-
the original, the New York.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I wanted to
So
show
that's
those.
the second time I went to New York and visited Juan, and he was actually at the fire academy in New York, and they call it the Rock. So they were actually doing drills, and they're like, "You want to do a drill with us?" But but they didn't have many bunker gear to fit me. They were doing the flashover trailer, but I got like a great tour through their whole fire academy.
That is
It's amazing.
So cool.
And
That
then we
is.
were going to a Yankees game, so they're like, "Oh, a lot of firemen go to this bar before the Yankees game." Go,
Oh, really?
yeah. So I mean, it was just like, yeah, it like they take you in like family, you know. Like, so I was a firefighter then, and it's crazy because like he saw me when I was a Marine before a fireman, and then when I saw him now at the academy, I was a fireman. So he's like, "Welcome to the brotherhood, sister." So
I love that.
yes. So it was great.
Cool. That is so
He actually
cool.
drove a fire truck. They just got new trucks and had them at the school at the Rock. And he's like, "You want to see how it sounds like they respond in New York?" So he drove out the academy, the Rock, and he put on the sirens and lights and the New York fire truck. And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" You know.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. That is
So,
so cool.
Yeah, it was
Because
really
that's
cool.
stuff you see on TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Like in the South, we don't
especially
see all
you know,
that. You know?
I work for St. Bernard Parish Fire Department, and it's not like a big department like New York.
No.
You know, everybody wants to be a New York fireman, Chicago fireman, like, you know.
Those are the big boys.
And then everything was September 11th. Like, those guys are heroes. I mean, you know.
But I
So-
still feel like a lot of stuff happens in
Oh,
Southern
yes.
North.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not surprised at how busy you are.
Well, it happens even in like a town with just a stoplight.
I know,
You know?
yeah, you're right.
You're gonna
You're
see
right.
bad accidents. You're gonna see horrible things. Like in this job as a fireman, you can't avoid trauma. It's gonna happen. You're gonna experience like so. One day, you know, when you show up, it's somebody's worst day of their life. It's either they're losing their house, they're losing a loved one, or their life's about to change because of an accident.
It's a great way to explain it.
So.
It is. Because
So,
you're very
so they
right.
might live that one time, but any given day at the firehouse, we're gonna see it. You know, different role that the person or the family members experience, but we're experiencing it too. It's very raw out there compared to when they get into the ER, and then from the ER they get in the OR, and then from the OR say they make it to the ICU. It's different, you know. Like
Everybody has their
more-
spots.
but it's
Yeah.
a lot. It's raw. It's very raw. Like sometimes the family's there. It's like. You know, it's
No,
I would
y'all show up
say
on the street.
The hospital's definitely
it's
more
like that.
sterile, and yes,
Yeah.
they do deal with a
Y'all
lot.
have to deal
It's-
with getting like I'm
Yes.
going to say it, and I know you're saying that you know that you work for the government pays everything, or the state, whatever it is that state.
Yeah, if you work for the local government or federal government, you're not going to be rich.
No, I know that, but like I'm just saying, like I mean, y'all save lives every day, you know, all the time, and y'all deal with things that are just I can't deal with. I know I can't. You can't either. I mean, neither one of us could. You know, we just can't. But it's just y'all are the heroes.
Yeah, most important, front line, and
Yeah,
they're
the front
usually
lines.
there before the cops.
Well,
That's
They're
what I'm
always
saying.
there
And
before.
and
not
sometimes
St. Bernard. St. Bernard, I mean, we have a good working relationship with the sheriff's office. Like,
well, you have to
Sheriff
make it
Coleman
safe
was
that y'all
awesome,
can come in.
but like they, because they get there first, because the way our 911 system works, it goes through their dispatch. So if it's like a fire, they transfer it to our dispatch and they dispatchers. If it's like a medical, they transfer it to Acadian, but then they call us saying, hey, Acadian's going here, but we're going to get there faster than Acadian, the way the stations are all lined up throughout the parish.
So
It's like
y'all all kind of take care of each other.
well, we have districts, like
yeah.
areas that and it's like a 3-mile radius, and we can get to anywhere within a 3-minute response time, because 3 minutes can do a lot. It can save a life or save a house. If you start CPR
100%.
right away,
3
or
minutes
you get water in the
yeah.
fire right away, there's certain things. So,
and when something bad's happened in 3 minutes is 10 hours.
yeah.
Mhm.
10 hours. So I wanted to get back because I didn't want us to not hear about.
We kind of bounced around.
No, I did. I bounced.
It's
I
two
bounced.
ADHD people, trying to.
I know. I love it. But get back to where you were saying that. Okay, so when Katrina happened, you weren't here.
I wasn't. So I was still in the Marine Corps, because I was in the Marine Corps from 2004 to 2008 active duty, and then I did 2 years reserve. So did the tsunami before, and I was like, wow, like this to see, like you can't, like Mother Nature, when she comes, there's nothing you can do. Really?
No, you can just pray.
You have to worry about the aftermath. How you gonna put it back together, fix it, or whatnot.
That's what you're thinking. Yeah.
So
how are you gonna fix this now?
So I was like, wow. Well then, 2005, Katrina happens, and we're actually in South Korea. UFL, I think that was exercise is called. And you do like the training with South Korea, like if we ever go to war with North Korea, it's like this. So they were like, I was a Lance Corporal then. They were like, Lance Corporal Stechmann, you have to go see the chaplain. And I'm like thinking, oh no. So like if they tell you to see the chaplain, usually it's like they send in your family sent in a Red Cross message because they can't get in touch with you, because I was, in South Korea. Right. And I'm in the field. So they're usually trying to get in touch with you that somebody died. So I'm thinking, oh no, was it my grandmother? You're thinking all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I go see the chaplain, and the chaplain's like, hey, they had a big storm that hit.
So you had no idea there was even a storm.
No, I'm like probably like 25 days in Korea, like living in a tent.
And back then,
doing like, baby white baths,
Yeah, like no, you're like that with stuff we can't imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
no social media, no computer.
right. It was before smartphones. Okay, this is 2004, right?
I know. Oh my God, that's so crazy.
Right. So they tell me, and I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah. And but your family's safe, but like they lost everything. I'm like, what? And I'm like, so my first sergeant's like, we gonna get you on a plane, head back to Okinawa, or whatever. And I'm like,
okay.
no. I'm like, what can I do? They're safe. There's nothing I can do. Let me just finish out this.
You're so strong.
Finish out,
You're so strong.
this training, and I need to add this to this. This is kind of funny to this story. So I was in wire platoon, and so the generals they had a 2-star and a 1-star general, and they were coming to visit the site and to see. Well, they sometimes pick Marines to get coins from the general. Well, my mentor, Sergeant D, was like, he got these challenge coins of wire dogs, because we were a wire platoon, so we're like, wire dogs, bark and do all this stuff. Well, my first sergeant chose me to go get it. I'm like, oh yeah, charity corn, because like I lost my house in Katrina. That's what I'm thinking. So I get chosen with a few other Marines, and German's like, I dare you to give him the coin. Give him a coin. Say, this is from wire. I'm like, okay. So this 2-star, I think it was General Weber, and then the other one was Panner, and they were the generals of 3rd MLG. So he comes up and he's like, oh, I heard you're from New Orleans, and I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, well, here's your coin. I said, well, sir, I got a coin from you from the wire dogs. And I go, oh, and I bark. And like, you don't understand. You don't do that. And so he looks at me kind of like, what just happened? Because this is a general and I'm just an E3, right? And so, and then I see
my
Tanner look like, what? And he laughed.
Sweating thinking about you doing it.
And he broke down and he started laughing. And he's like, wow, you know, I've never had a junior Marine give me a coin like that. And the legend, like not the legend, but like they say if General Weber sees you out and you have his coin, he like buys you a beer or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he was like, yeah, so if I have your coin out, you don't mean to be. I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, well, I pray for your family and everything. And he goes, well, then the 1-star general is in front of me now because, like, you know, it's in front of you and you stand in a position. And he's like, hi. He's like laughing. He's talking to me and everything. Well, then I look at him corner of my eye and I see my first sergeant. And he's looking at me like, I'm gonna murder you type of thing.
Shit.
So, formation was dismissed. I get my, can I curse?
No, probably
Okay.
not.
Okay. No cursing. He chewed my butt, and he's like, "Thank goodness that he thought it was cool, because if not,
You would have been done for, huh?
yeah." So then, the training was complete, but then you have like they send like the pre or post, and like so I was supposed to stay and help set like pick up, but they sent me on the first C-130 back to Okinawa. And then I got in touch with my mom, and I flew to Atlanta because that's where they were. And I'm like, I'm going. I want to go drive down to New Orleans. I want to see it. This is after the water.
So how long did you go? Because I went down there. When did you go?
I don't know.
Was it in like? Because when did Katrina? Like, was it the end of August, right, Dad?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It was like August 29th, huh?
Yeah,
Was
the
it?
end of the
That's what
month.
it was, Bonnie.
Right,
Okay.
right.
2005.
So probably the end of September, maybe.
Oh, so okay. So I went like November. We went during Thanksgiving.
Probably like so.
So you really went.
I
when it was
heard that
fresh.
you know, you hear all kinds of stuff like, oh, they're not letting anybody in. I'm like, I have my military ID. They're gonna let me in.
They're gonna let you in. Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
So I actually drove to Baton Rouge because my friend Kristen was going to Loyola, but all the Loyola students were now going to LSU, so she was in Baton Rouge, so I drove there, and then she's like, all right, let's go. So we drove in, and they didn't check IDs, but I know they had a curfew, and so it was probably like a year and a half before I saw my house. Like I left for Okinawa, and so I haven't been home in a year and a half, so to drive through the parish and then see the devastation, I'm like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of what happened in Sri Lanka, right? And then seeing my home and then having mud up to like your knees and then realize there's nothing left. And then I went to my grandma's house and I got all her Norman Rockwell out and just like driving through the parish. And it's like, I don't think it's ever going to return. Like it was
scary. So who is Jessica? She's like, yeah, it was 4 to 5 weeks after it happened. You were back.
Oh, my sister's watching.
Yeah,
What's up, Jessica?
And look, Kayla said, I can't read, Dad. I couldn't see it. Go back and Bonnie. Oh, go back and Bonnie. Okay, I couldn't when he pulled it up right there. I was trying to read it right there. Okay, so hey, Kayla.
So that happened. Then I had to go back.
And that's such devastation. You go back. I mean, like you're over there, and then you come home. And
yeah, because I got 30 days leave. They gave me 30 days leave.
Yeah.
So I had to go back to Okinawa. And
you're still not a firefighter yet.
I'm still not a firefighter. I'm still active duty in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And back then, I don't know how it is now. Like when you got orders to Okinawa, it was a 2-year tour.
Okay.
And like usually if you, it's like stateside, it was like a year orders, you know, you had this unit for a year and whatnot. So in 2006, that's when I got new orders to go to Camp Pendleton, 1st Mardiv, Headquarters Battalion, Comm Company. So that's where I went after Okinawa. Okay, so in the middle of that, when I did get the leave before I went to California, that's when I went to New York.
Then okay,
yeah,
kind of
we kind of
no, but wait, I'm like that too.
It's all mixed match.
So then you decided, okay, so you went through the training, and tell people kind of a little bit like
about what
training, like to be a firefighter.
Okay, so then like I decided I want to get out the Marine Corps, and I decided I'm gonna do reserves. Which I probably should have did. I should have listened to my first Sergeant Hall, and he said, if you're going to get out active duty, I really want you to stay. Do Air Guard or Air National Guard, be an active Marine going to, reserves. It's going to be you're not going to like it. You just want to go to a whole new, branch. But I didn't listen. He was right. Whatever.
She's so funny.
You know, I'm hard at it. Sometimes you have to learn from your own mistakes. That's the best way. You kind of get through.
No, it is. That's how I've learned all my lessons for sure.
So, I go to the fire academy. It was at LSU.
Okay, so it was here in Baton Rouge.
So, and it was ran
So
by
that's, that dad, we see that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We
we
see
can
the
see
fires,
smoke
the
from
smoke
that.
from
Mhm.
Kenilworth. We always
It's
see
ran by
that.
the
Fires.
state fire marshal now, but it was ran by actually LSU. It was like FEDI, fire emergency. I don't know.
I was little, but I can remember always seeing,
And
that's
it
the
was
firefighters, you know.
like a 12 or 14 week, you know, training. And it was almost like boot camp. You had to sleep there. They had like little, and I was the only female in my
That's got to be
class.
hard.
Yes. So,
You're so
but
brave.
I was,
Like,
still,
so
I was
cool.
still in like shape because of the Marine Corps, because it was only,
Yeah,
I got out
can't
in
even
January
imagine.
of 2008 of active duty, and I was in the academy in August of 2008.
Oh, wow.
So I could still run. I was still in shape. I was still lean, a lot leaner than I am now. I'm not even lean. I'm just, you know, cute, chubby, and charming.
Yeah, me too.
So,
It's better that way.
right. So actually, funny story. While I'm in the academy, a few of my friends that were in the Marine Corps that got out, because when you sign up 8 years total, 4 years active and 4 years inactive, meaning if they need to, you know, activate you.
Yeah,
I think that was the reason why they did, like, to help not do another draft, you know,
absolutely.
to get manpower. So you had the 4 years
Especially
where,
people who are experienced in
Well,
something.
so, I mean, we're already at 8 years at war in the Middle East right now, probably. Yeah. So my friend Randall and my friend Matt, they got they got activated.
Abby, she's coming. You know, Abby Donnelly. She's
Yeah.
the same duty was on the was a
Yes,
fire.
yes, he was on Squad 1,
Yeah.
3rd platoon. I used to work swaps for him half a day. Had to go to the slingshot in the morning, and then he'd come in at day. Great, love those type of swaps. So where was I?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, you're talking about how, like, when you became a firefighter.
All right, so I'm in the fire academy, and I tore my
Installation.
ACL. I
Yeah.
tore my ACL, and I had where my surgery was going to be scheduled. Like, we graduate Friday. I was going to have my surgery on that Tuesday after graduation. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Tuesday.
my
That's
friend
no easy
told me, "Hey, I just
surgery.
want to give you a heads up, Stechmann. I just got a FedEx package with orders and a plane ticket." And I'm like, okay. And he goes, they're activating people that's in the active reserve. I'm like, all right. I'm like, maybe not. Who's an MP, whatever. Well, sure enough, my sister calls me while I'm at the fire academy, because I lived with her. I was her roommate, you know? So maybe more like I guess, yeah, I don't know. I was a roommate, but she mostly took care of me. I don't know if I paid her rent. So, she calls me and she's like, you got a package. I'm like, open it up. And she opens up, and it was orders and a plane ticket. And so I had like a week left of the academy, and it was only like driver ops and pump ops, I believe. And it was something extra. It wasn't required yet, but there was going to be a requirement to graduate later on. But like I think we were like the first or third class that they were trying this out. So got the orders. I called my chief and was like, I just got orders. I just got activated. I have to fly out to California on this day, total academy. And I'm like, all right, well, at least I passed all my certs, like Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, hazmat, ops, first responder, all that stuff. So fly out to California, go check into my duty station. And I'm like, so it was orders to go to Afghan. And because they were getting ready to deploy. And so I was like, that's cool, but medical wise, I'm getting surgery. So what's going on? Like, will y'all send me with no ACL? Or like, I mean, do I cancel my surgery? Like, what's going on? Like, oh, we need to see this. So I guess they didn't think I would pass the physical, whatnot. They were like, well, we'll keep you here in garrison and we'll send somebody else in it. And I'm like, no. If you're going to take me away from like starting my civilian life, you either have to send me overseas to Afghan or send me back, because I'm not going to ride on base for another year. I'm not.
No, I don't blame you.
So got in touch with my old first sergeant, my old, commanding officer. I explained everything to him. I was there probably 8 days maybe, and they cut me orders, releasing me, and I flew back. So, but I would have 100% been okay to go to Afghan. But once they said, "Oh yeah, we're just going to keep you here," I was like, "Mm-mm."
Yeah, but God had other plans for you.
Right. That's what
That's
what my mom said. She's like, "You weren't meant to go there."
You weren't.
And when you are like in the military, it's not like you can avoid getting deployed. So when I got my orders to my new station, they were just getting back from Afghan or Iraq. I forget which one they were coming back from.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got there, it was almost like a ghost unit. They only had like 3 people, and like, oh, the rest of them are just coming back. They're on their leave and stuff. So I only had like a year left on my contract. So they weren't going to go get deployed until, another year, because it's probably East Coast turn. So, yeah.
No, but don't you think this was her calling to be a firefighter?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Bonnie can vouch for
She
that.
runs towards the danger.
Yeah.
We run away.
We do run away.
Like,
and look, I have my somebody said thank you for your service, Janet. That's my aunt's sister. So yeah, no, because you are, and I kind of wanted to get to that too, because and that's why Bonnie's here to kind of, so we can tell she knows a lot of your stories. I mean, we talk about you when we're getting haircut
Lord.
sometimes, because
Uh-oh.
no, I mean in a good way, not, but like really, I'm just like
I'm even good when I'm bad.
but like you're definitely somebody like you want to like if something happens, I want somebody like her coming to help me or help a family member. No, because like you're not afraid. Number one, you're ready to jump in. You don't care if come on, Bonnie. Like
I'm
if it's,
probably a little too fearless. Like I am fearless with
You
her
worry
by my
about her.
side.
yeah, you worry
Like
about her.
No, I think that's in firefighters'
always-
nature and Marines' nature.
No, I do think that, but I do think like some of the stories that Bonnie's told me, and like, I know Bonnie can kind of like say some of the things that we talked about, like saving the baby thing. You can even talk about something like that. And what about the man? I mean, like, there's just so many things that it's just like every day, like even talking about saving people with Narcan. Like, I can't even imagine like being on the streets with people. It's so scary. First of all, I'm scared.
Mhm.
First of all, you're scared to death. Then you got to save somebody.
Yeah.
Like, so kind of tell us some of those, because I think people just think firefighters.
Oh, we
Just
just chill.
when people
We just
are-
chill and watch
Yeah, well,
movies.
and
Is that what they
people think
think?
that,
We take
well,
naps and everything.
No,
I do take naps. So,
No, but
I mean,
I've heard people. No, I've heard people say. I mean, how many fires are there? There's a ton.
there's a ton.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
not fires.
It's not, and it's
like
but it's also all the other stuff. People don't
cardiac arrest.
well,
Yeah.
firefighters are just not firefighters anymore. We're responding to all medical calls. Like pretty much when
It's
they don't,
true.
when somebody calls 911, they don't know what to do. They send it in the fire department
Well, wait. So
because
but-
we're
no,
problem
it's true.
solvers.
My daughter my Peanut quit breathing when she was a baby. Remember that, Dad?
Yep.
And she was like 4 months old. She had just I looked at her, and thank God she was in our bed. And the first people to show up was our fire department.
Mhm.
And they were like, knew not to put the oxygen by her eyes because I don't know what could happen to her. I don't know. I think maybe blindness or something. They were like super careful with her. They took the baby, the firefighters, then the ambulance shows up, but the firefighters were first.
Well, yeah, because we're all trained first responders. Some of the firemen are actually EMTs,
But I didn't know y'all knew how to do
and
that.
some of them are
you know?
paramedics.
Yeah.
Well, you could tell her about how you weren't even. I'm always impressed, but how she wasn't even on duty and like saved the guy with the arm.
I didn't save him. That was Taz, but
See, she won't take credit for anything.
no, I
huh?
definitely think it's a calling. Not anybody can be like, hey, I want to be a fireman, because you have to be able to stomach it. You have to have, strong, like
You got to be able to think.
that.
And when you're in a panic situation.
Yeah, like I do better in like craziness and
Really?
chaos than I do.
She's good at all that, huh?
Like, I don't know, like, in school, I didn't do my paper until like midnight before. It was dead. I need that pressure. I need it.
It's so good.
Right. So,
So, tell people, like, some of the
well,
calls, because, like,
so
I don't think people
I knew
understand
school,
that.
Like, so, I wanted to do Coast Guard, but I knew a traditional school. I'm ADHD, dyslexic. I didn't start speaking until I was 5 years old.
And never stopped.
You never stop.
Right, once I started talking, I never stopped. But I was a jock, right? I was good with my hands. I had great work ethic. And so that's why I was kind of leaning towards, the Coast Guard. I'm like, I want to become something in my life. Like, you had that way, you have to go to college, you have to do that to become something. I'm like, well, I can make something of myself. I might not be book intelligent, but I can.
I love that you just always believe in yourself
So,
too. That's so cool.
That's how I ended up there.
That's
well, and just service, like to your country, or to your community. It's a commitment, and I love it. I love my job.
Well, I want you to. My cousin Abby has something to say. It takes a special person to leave their own family to take care of others. Thank you for your service, Rebecca.
Oh, thank you. Make me blush.
It's true.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I think anybody who's a first responder and works shift work, you're gonna miss holidays. You're gonna miss big events.
I remember duty. I remember when duty
And I'm
worked, you
gonna
missed
tell
things.
you miss things.
You do. I remember
And
that.
I try to, since I'm not a parent, I work swaps for holidays for guys who have families. Like, oh, Christmas, yeah, I'll work for you. Because, I grew up in a house where my mom was a nurse and my sister's a nurse, so they work shift work.
Y'all are all service people.
Right. And we definitely get it from our mama. We get it from our mama. Kathy, but yeah, she's amazing.
It's true, huh?
And so, if we all worked on Christmas, we just celebrated the next day. You know what I'm saying? So it's
So sweet.
So if a dad wanted to be off Christmas, I'll take your shift. I'll take your shift at Easter.
But she's got, I told my dad, I said, most of the people that I have on my show has, like in the Grinch, like in the Christmas movie, his heart grows really big, 3 times so big. Your heart has to be that big to start with to be on my show. So our show, my dad. But your heart is humongous.
It really
It is, and I feel it.
You have to have compassion. You have to
Yeah.
care. But I will say though, after so many years in this line, you will get a callus. You will get, I think it's called compassion fatigue, I believe. I don't know the definition of it, but I believe that's what it's called. And I think, because in the Marine Corps, they're like rhino skin, rhino skin. Right. You have to have thick skin, So I think the first 10 years of my career, I just bottled it up. It's like, I care what I looked at every patient or anything like that. Could be my grandmother, that could be my brother, that could be my sister, that could be whatever. I have a brother who's schizophrenic, so if we had calls with somebody in mental health distress, I look at that. This could be my brother. He's a human being. Don't look at him like he's an animal. Don't look at him like he's like that. Yeah, you have to. So, but also though too, as firemen, I think we build this house to get by, So we might have these traumatic calls, and then we're back at the firehouse eating dinner, joking, eating, and
you don't
we
have
make
much of a callus though.
Well, I don't anymore. So
she doesn't.
it changed.
She's
That's
big
why I said the
softy.
first
Oh my
10 years of my
gosh.
career, I would say I had that callus.
Mhm.
But after my brother's death, that callus kind of went away. So.
Not the schizophrenic brother.
No. So I'm the
Another
baby of
brother.
4. I have Jessica is my older sister. Jacob is the one who's deceased. He was an engineer and he was living in Hawaii, and Paul's the schizophrenic. And it's me, Becky, the baby. Yeah. My mom said she wanted 6 kids, and then she had me, I was like, ah! So that was a traumatic call. He fell from his balcony. He was on the 32nd floor, so that's what, 400 and something feet. And I was recovering from a knee surgery because I tore my ACL. I was doing a drag back for a structure fire, and I messed up my knee in basketball and other times too. And I slipped on oil or whatever, and I messed up my knee, so I had to get surgery. And so I was home, and I get a knock, boom, 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 at 1:00 in the morning, and I open it up, and it's Brad Tragle, a fireman, and he's like, Stechmann, you need a call. Your brother was in an accident. I'm thinking, Paul? He's like, no, one in Hawaii. And I'm thinking a car accident, whatever. He's like, you need to call this number. So he's standing right there, and his headlights are in my face because it's my front door. And so I call the number, and I'm like, hey, this is Rebecca. And he's like, hey, your brother was in an accident. I'm like, okay, is he okay? Is he in a hospital? And he's like, he fell from his balcony. And I just dropped because 9 months before that, I went and visited him in Hawaii. I drank coffee on that balcony. I drank a beer, IPA with him on that balcony. So, I dropped, and I guess the training that I had in, I was like, am I the first one you called? Like, and he's like, no, I don't call my mom, you know, whatever. And then I just jump up, and it was just like game time, like mode, like work mode. And I'm like, I need to go to my mom's house. And Brad's like, you want me to bring you? I'm like, no, I need to do it. So I'm driving, and I'm thinking, how am I going to tell my mom that her son died? So I open her door. I don't know what time it is now, maybe 2. And I get on my mom's bed, and I'm like, mom, wake up. She wakes up, like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I have to tell you something, Jake's gone. She's like, what? She jumps out, screams. She runs out her house and down the street. And I'm like limping, trying to chase my mom. And so I grab her, and I'm holding her. And she's like, no, my son. My sister was working in ICU at Tulane.
Oh my God.
Because it was Super Bowl Sunday. And I think she got it because they tried Messenger through Facebook, and then she called. So, yeah. So that's how we found out, and how they were able to get in touch with me. It's because the guy tried messaging me on Facebook, but I had private, so he couldn't get through. But he saw that was St. Bernard, so he called the firehouse. He Googled the number, called them, and they answered me. And actually, the guy who answered the phone cuts my mom's grass, so he actually tried calling my mom. Thank gosh, like, God works in mysterious ways that it didn't happen like this. She didn't pick up because it was on silent. And so they were like, hey, Brad, go to Stechmann's house. Go wake her up. Because, you know, I mean...
The good old parish, so everybody knows everybody. And it can just work through.
Isn't that crazy? But, like,
so...
See, you have, like, but, like, you've been through so much.
And, like...
And that's what I think also helps you be a firefighter, because you've been through, like... It
was a rough, like... Since 2019 has been rough, because, like, 8 months later, I lost my friend Devin, my really good friend, lost her husband Devin. Then shortly after that, you know, 2020 happens, and then my mom gets diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So I believe it was my path to do these jobs to make me stronger, so I can handle that and still, you know. But what I'm saying is that since that, I didn't think I had PTSD, because people was like, you're going to remember some of these calls. I'm like, nah, right? 10 years going, or 11 years going. Well, after my brother's death, I started having dreams of calls I had, but it wasn't the woman, or it was my brother. So it might be a wreck, but it was my brother.
I see what you're saying.
It might have been an overdose, but it was my brother.
And so, like, and then you're dealing with that, but then you're also dealing with, like, saving people on the street.
Right, but I think that brought back my compassion, because it was like you showing up to their house or a car accident and they don't make it, because I feel like more, you know, don't make it than make it.
Really?
I feel like that. I feel like that. Sometimes when you're doing full cardiac arrest, yes, I feel like that. But I mean, we've gotten
car
pulse back
accidents and
everything.
Stuff.
So, and then you realize that person's life is going to be completely different now. Completely.
And you can sympathize.
I can sympathize. It's like, you're like, I mean.
So I have to say something. I know I'm probably not. First, let's bring up what Janet said real quick, Dad.
Right.
With that's my aunt's sister. That's Abby's aunt. Was there one person that influenced you to serve as a Marine and a firefighter? That's a really good question.
No, I wouldn't say, because like my grandfather, I never met him. He passed away when my dad was 8. He was in the Army. So the military, so I guess you can say my grandfather, and my mom's dad was in the Navy for World War II and did the Pacific. So probably my grandfather's maybe a military, but nobody was a Marine. I didn't know much. It was like me wanting to be a Marine.
Yeah, but service is in your family, because your mom's a nurse.
Right.
It isn't just nurses serve.
Oh, nurse is awesome. I think if I would have been smart enough, and I would have been a nurse. I would want to be like an ER nurse.
But I think you're right where you need to be.
Oh yeah,
because like you're so brave, and you get the unfortunately, like even Peanuts told me before, like y'all see the worst of the worst. By the time they get to the high, like y'all have to just keep them alive.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
there's been so many calls.
I have to say hello to Gemini Jets. I'm so happy that you're watching Camp. Camp's one of my Carter's friends. Isn't that funny?
Oh, cute.
That you're inspiring kids right now. No,
Yeah.
seriously, that's cool. It's good. No, it is. It's cool. You're inspiring everybody. And I did want to say this, and I kind of got sidetracked, but like, you know, right now the world's so crazy and everybody's all but like to get to heaven, you got to be like you. You got to be non-judgmental. You got to be able to, like, you're going to heaven. Like, I'm a little.
My mom embraces that. Way.
No, but
she's like, never judge anybody because you don't know where they're going through. I remember one year we were young and we were going into like K&B when K&B was still around.
Remember K&B?
I don't know if it was like a Thanksgiving or Christmas, and they had a homeless guy. And my mom's like, I don't have any money. I promise. And she's like, she went home, she made a dish, and she brought a dish to that homeless guy.
So, I mean, just good
I guess
humans.
I guess,
we need more good, like, and like just telling them, I mean, not that I can do, because I can't be, I know, Bonnie, you can't either.
Mm-mm.
No, we both can't, but we can be good in other ways. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes everybody being really good in other different ways and whatever you do.
Well, I mean, everybody has a purpose.
Everybody does. No, everybody has a purpose.
And like definitely being a Marine, I felt like I had a purpose. Being a firefighter, I felt like I had a purpose. It's a fulfillment. You know,
Yeah.
I feel we might not make a lot, but like my soul,
changing.
my soul, you know.
Well, you're paid in different ways.
Yeah, paid
You
in
are,
different
and I
ways.
also think that like
And I'm off the whole month of October.
that's great.
I mean, come on now.
I know.
I mean, I had to put in my vacation days and swap, but I mean, the whole month of October, my birthday month, I'm off. So.
Oh, my sister is the best of the best. She is. I agree. Your sister is the best. Jessica said that. Aw.
Golden.
I know, golden. So wait, I have to say this too. She has the pink on for Lindsay, which, you know, my daughter, look at the pink. She's representing for Lindsay. I love that. Thank you so much. For Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I didn't even say anything. She just did that. She showed up, and that's the heart that you have.
Yeah.
And
Super thoughtful.
Yeah, my sister has a big heart, so she was like more compassionate and like the soft, you know, hearted. I'm like more hard, and probably that is because of athlete or Marine or firefighter. But
more aggressive.
I mean, my grandma did tell us stories like what?
You're just more aggressive.
Yes.
Like nurses, Jessica is like.
You can tell she's a mom. I mean, I just have dogs. That's all.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah, they're the
But
best.
you're like crazy strong, and like she can lift all these large 600-pound men.
No, I can't lift 600 pounds. I mean, you have a team. We're a team. Like
So,
in the
Bonnie,
fire
tell
department.
us about that, like the 600 pounds.
No, I didn't.
Man,
I mean, there's always somebody,
I did not pick up a 600
falling
pound.
in a shower. Yes, but I've seen you pick up 7-foot men that weigh 200 pounds.
So
yes, I have.
it's a team. The truck, the engine company. So. So you're only as good as your team, and like I am very blessed. I have an awesome captain, Mitchell. The truck that will be helping us for structure fire, engine 6. Dick is an awesome captain, awesome engineer, and then I have Wolf and Taylor, the other truck coming. Like I'm very blessed.
Look.
That's not them, but some of them.
Oh, it's not them. Okay.
That's some of them. But yes, but
So what is this? So you can.
okay. So that was. Right before we went to Plaquemines, when it flooded, what was it? Was it Isaac?
I'm not sure.
When Plaquemines flooded?
Do you know, Dad?
I have no idea.
The time, like the years kind of just all blend.
Yeah.
So that was before we went.
Do you mean 2016?
The Baton Rouge flood was in 16.
So we actually sent our guys out to Baton Rouge.
Yeah,
for
it was
the
in
flood.
16.
That was
And
in
they
16.
and they saved people, but I wasn't on that deployment because
Okay.
That was
knee
16.
injury.
Yeah, that's who's
Have we
saving you in
used-
the flood, people. It's the fire. It's the
Yes.
fire department saving you in the flood when everything gets flooded. That's who saves you.
And Isaac was in
Oh,
2012.
look,
Jules.
Abby said,
Yeah.
oh, what?
2012. See.
Oh, Jules is on. Hey, Jules.
Yeah.
Jules from Chalmette too.
Oh,
Yeah.
She knows her.
Power's pride. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous. I'm like, I can't sound that yatty
Okay.
on this podcast.
We'll have the audience.
Look, so what is this?
So that's
Swiftwater.
Swiftwater rescue training, And then that was our restart, and we were in Austin, Texas doing that. And it was an indoor facility, and they actually had a car. If you look, there's a car. And so we did training where you're getting the victim out the car and then
Oh, really?
getting them on the roof and then slide them down the roof and then you're getting pulled. So that was us. And then that's us in the rear. That might have been when I first got certified because you have to get recert. But I'm not on the team anymore. I hung up,
Obviously,
Swift
you're
water
not
rescue.
claustrophobic.
No.
Trying to
Oh,
know.
that was from the tornado in Araby.
Oh, look at that.
You see my little Stechmann right there? That was wild. So that was the second one that hit, not the first one.
Okay, when was this now? I'm sorry.
I don't remember when the second one hit. It was
They
in
were
the
like
same-
right in a row, like
it was like
one
the
year
same
after
year, but
another,
one-
the same path.
Wasn't
And
it
a
couple years
and I had a
ago?
bad feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm at the firehouse, and it's me and Dennis McDonald, and I'm like, man, I have a bad feeling. As we're watching him, I'm like, I bet a tornado's gonna hit. It's like, no way. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's gonna go the same path. I just had. And he's like, so we're just out there. Well, all of a sudden we hear sheriff's off. We were scanning on our radios, and we hear a sheriff's off. It made touchdown as a tornado. So me and Dennis just looked at each other, and we just jumped in a fire truck, and we just started driving to Araby. And then also we hear, elderly woman stuck in her house. The roof caved in on Friscoville. So literally, me and Dennis are like, hey, we self-dispatching, which is, you're not supposed to do that. Well, we did.
Really?
What we weren't supposed to do. But me and Dennis was like cowboying it. Like, let's go.
Cowboy.
So
I love it.
we got there and we got the elderly lady out.
Oh,
And
y'all did? Y'all got her out?
Yeah, she was fine. She was just trapped the way the roof caved in and everything. It was just like she couldn't get out.
So, like, how do you, like, not cave in the roof when you're going to get her? Like, I would, like everything just falls.
Oh, you can either, saws, hatches, but I could get in through a window, and then we moved stuff and were able, because it kind of collapsed and fell and had a little way, and then they had this
Risking your
arm.
life.
She's one of the smaller
Oh, yeah, so when
ones,
you're
so they
small-
always stick her
So
through
when
the
you're
windows.
small, you're the attic
and-
rat, or you're the one that has to climb
Attic rat.
underneath the house if it's raised, like the smaller ones. And look, when I drive the fire truck, my legs swing. Because I'm an operator. Like, I've been on St. Bernard Fire Department 16 years now. I'm age 16 years, August 12th.
Well, congratulations.
And,
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. I mean, I've been engineer probably since 2011, probably 2012. I don't know. I could be captain. I finally took the course that I needed to be able to take this. But, like, I'm swinging my legs.
Oh
in the
my
fire truck.
gosh.
Like a kid.
It doesn't go down. And,
So wait, I got to show you these. My dad has these up. So what is this fire right here at the end, at the top?
So that's actually at Texas A&M, and that's industrial firefighting. And so
Oh,
that's
okay.
like would be a trained car.
So that's a
Okay.
different, like we were talking about
Yeah,
that in
it's
the den.
different.
You,
And we train like that because we have 2 major refineries in St. Bernard Parish,
and if they can't, they.
and we've already been there and fought fires, and
Jeez.
and
And that's when y'all were doing y'all's training.
that's different times, different areas, and then that was actually after a structure fire, after we were picking up hose and stuff like that. So
Y'all are still taking pictures. I mean, this is crazy.
that's the stair
So
climb.
Is that what you like when there's a fire? Do you wear that?
Yes.
Like even
That's-
outside, like when you're doing the hose. I just want to know. I mean,
Yes,
you have
that
to wear it because of the smoke.
Yes, because of smoke, and like nowadays, like firefighters' chances of getting cancer is higher percentage.
Really?
And like the way we used to do stuff like John Wayning it, we can't be doing that. Like you have to clean your bunker here. So now when we do
And
overhauls,
for your lungs.
When you did overhauls, you like take off your air pack and everything, and you're doing this in your bunker pants with your gloves. Now it's like you want to be on your air pack because all the gases are off gassing and the real bad stuff.
Yeah, the real bad stuff. And then you're having to save people with all that stuff on you. That is what's so crazy. And then if it's hot, and then you got the fire, and it's hot even with the fire.
Yes.
It's just insane.
And you can't see.
Yeah, it's smoked
You have
out.
to, like,
It's dark.
Follow the
and
hose
look at
or whatever.
these.
It's kids.
Oh, I love that.
We every summer the library puts on, and they invite the fire department, and it always happens to be on my shift. I think they do it on purpose. And
And the kids
Because
probably
you're good
love
with
you.
kids.
That's what I'm saying. The kids
She's
probably,
great with kids.
The next
We're
time,
not
look,
having any. Oh my
Pearl has
goodness.
a dance competition, and we do it in Chalmette every year. And the next time you're coming, I'm making you come sit. This year, you're coming to sit.
Maybe I just ought to take the fire detail and get paid while I'm at the
You
dance.
should.
You
should.
And
Oh my gosh.
Good idea.
You want the details.
I always deny those details. They're like, oh, dance recital? Nope.
No, well, this isn't
but you get paid money.
isn't actually dance recital. Pearl does like dance competitions, so she's just out doing her little solo. So.
You need to see it.
You need to see it. You need to
gotta
come.
see her.
We're gonna let you know that.
Okay,
date.
so the guy right next to me, that's my captain, Mitchell.
Oh, okay. He's your captain.
He's awesome. He's a extrication whiz, dude. He's not dude. Yeah, dude. Sorry, I'm thinking I'm at the firehouse talking to you, ma'am.
You just call me ma'am.
But yes, Mitchell's awesome. So
Old lady.
this was, they had a bad wreck on Parish Road and 5-ton T-boned a car and smashed the dash all over on her legs, and we extricated her out the car.
And she lived.
Yeah, she lived.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So,
okay, so and
that's they do the stair climb for September 11th. And all the money goes to charity. And so that was one year when I did it, and I did 110 floors. But now they do it where you do the mile walk with a year of silence, because really when September 11th happened, all the congestions, a lot of the firemen had to park their trucks and run with their gear a mile, 2 miles. Some of them running down the tunnel.
That's why it's so important to be in such good shape.
I think they only made it to I might go with number like the 70-something floor. So now you do the mile silent walk, and then you do 70-something floors
with all that
because
stuff
that's the only floor that the fire.
You did vomit though before you got to the top.
I did vomit.
You did.
Yes.
That's part of this chore.
Yes,
Right.
right. Well, that just tells you how challenging it was.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean,
No.
you're very athletic, and
But-
I just don't think you could do that.
I mean,
either.
how much does all of that weigh?
That's what I'm
on your
saying. How
body?
much does that weigh?
Well, I don't know. That might weigh 50, 60 pounds, and then you're gonna carry, like, it depends. You can have a hose, or you have a halligan, or you can have an axe. So you're gonna have tools, so that adds to you. And then when the gear gets wet, it adds pounds. So I mean, you can be looking at 80 pounds.
See, and kids don't get all that, because I know, like, when they come to school and when they come to the preschool, when they come to St. Jude, and the kids get to walk through the front part of it, and it's so cool. But, like, you don't know what it takes to be one of these people. It's, like, unbelievable. And y'all should be paid as much as these athletes. That's all I'm saying. Y'all should be getting a ton of money.
Well, I know, but I mean,
I know.
they
but,
get a ton of money.
Who's that?
Oh, so that's fine. My bulldog, because
she's great
Mozart, Fidelis, because Semper Fidelis, the Marine Corps. So, and the bulldog is the Marine Corps mascot, and so that's why, right? Because in World War One, the German soldiers called us devil dogs, Tufanton. That was our nickname that they gave in the Marines in World War One. Yes. So the bulldog is kind of how we got the Marine mascot, and so I was obsessed with them. And I finally got her. I got Phi, and then eventually we got Semper. Even though it was kind of backwards, but I'm dyslexic, so I just roll with it.
It doesn't matter.
So she got stolen.
What?
Yes, and that was when the detective.
Who would steal the dog?
I mean, she's pretty cute.
I know, but still, like,
That was Babyface, Rebecca.
Yeah, that is.
You still look like that.
Pretty braces, no gray. A little tan, no wrinkles.
We're talking about the dog.
Wow.
So what happened to the dog? Who stole the dog?
I don't know the guy's name. So I go home because me and my mom shared the dogs. They had shared custody.
They have 4.
Now, I wanted a dog. She wanted her dog because her boxer passed away. But, my mom worked 12-hour shifts and I worked 24-hour. And she's like, well, let's get one together and we could share. So when you're at the firehouse, I have her, whatnot. So literally, when I get off of work, I go to my mom's house and go pick up the dogs and bring them to my house. Or, or I wanted to go on trips or anything. Hey, Mom, here's the dogs.
Exactly.
The best situation ever, right? Awesome. So, but we shared like the vet bills and all those responsibilities. So I had a big Mastiff. That was my dog that I got from the SPCA. Well, I brought her home and my brother's dog to my house. And so I let him outside and I let my big dog, I let all the dogs outside. and I go in my room or maybe the bathroom. I'm not too sure. And I walk out and I hear something scratching at my front door. And I open the front door and it's Gracie, my brother's American Bulldog. And I'm like, what are you doing what happened? And then I go in my backyard and Stell and Fire not there. And I'm like, where are they? So I'm running down the street looking for them. I'm like, did the gate not get shut? But it was like,
they can't run fast.
But Stell wasn't. But Stell was in there the whole time. She would have pushed she would have not been in the backyard. And so I called my sister. I'm like, Jessica, oh my gosh. So she comes helping. We're trying to find out. I'm posting it on social media. I get flyers. I start asking about people with cameras because they had a business at the end. And I'm like, I'm following a police report. This is fishy. So they sent somebody there. They got a detective on it. I mean, it was shared everywhere. When they pull the video, they see this Mustang driving with a big old 160-pound Mustang.
Oh my gosh!
Right? And so I was going to a pet store to get more flyers to him. And he goes, they had somebody question about this because he already had a flyer, but I was giving him more so he can hand it out.
Uh-huh.
I said, really? He goes, yeah, it was kind of fishy. This guy was just really fishy. And I said, yeah, I mean, they're really heartbroken. They even got the cops involved. And when I said that, his eyes got really big. And then I'm at work, and I get a call, and he's like, hey, I'm calling about the 2 dogs. I think I might know where they are. So on the fire department's phone, I call the Detective Ryan Mallory.
I love she knows everything.
And I'm like, hey,
Yes, of course.
hey, I think I know where the dogs are. Hold on. So I'm talking to him while Ryan's right there, and he goes, yeah, I went to my friend's house and had these 2 dogs here, and then when I saw the flyer, I'm like, wait, that looks like those 2 dogs on the flyer. I'm like, where are you? And he told me the street. I'm saying the street. So Ryan sends some units out there, and
some units.
I said, well, can you get them? Can you bring them to? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm like, well, you sure it's them? Did they have a scar? He's like, yes. He's like, I'm breaking them out the backyard. I'm gonna bring them to my house. I'm like, all right. So then my captain said, just go. So I drive, and he told the chief that I was going, and I get there, and there's my dogs, and this guy's arrested, and I'm like, I said some not nice things, and
Those are your babies. Those are your children.
right, and I'm like, where's the guy that found them? Because the Mustang was in the driveway. So he was actually on the phone with me because the phone got disconnected and I didn't know why. But because the cops came up on him and he hung up the phone. So I'm like, where's the guy that helped get my dogs back? And I'm like, that's him. He was playing you. And I'm like, what?
Oh, he was
and then
that's
right. And then
Crazy.
so I'll go back to the pet store a couple of days. He's like, you know what's crazy? That guy's found many dogs.
oh.
So I think he finds them and he waits for a reward. But it was already too late because the police report. So he was like, trying to get out of it. And
he stole that baby, right?
That's so much effort for what kind of reward?
Like what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a lot of.
the dude picked up, I think they ended up maybe dropping it because he knew people. But yeah, he's never going to do that again. And so I was looking when I got his name on Facebook. We had mutual friends. So all the mutual friends were sharing it. And he had to pass up the pound because they were both chipped.
I mean,
So-
you can't do that in the parish.
And then she was beat up. Fire had marks on her, and he had pit bulls, and apparently he breeds pit bulls.
Oh my
So
god.
I'm like, what? I mean, she can't. She's fixed. So I don't know. It's a little real shady, but yeah.
Pit.
Okay.
I don't even know why people have pit bulls, but that's
But yeah, we
that's
totally
a-
got off subject. It was like,
It's so big.
this is ADHD.
Yeah, I love it. Though.
podcast.
What a cool story. This is something you can't make up.
Well, I'm lucky because I was on duty, and then me being a firefighter, I believe this is why the cops are like, yeah, we're gonna get our babies back, and they did.
And they
I
did.
love it. I mean,
love
the cops
that.
down there are great.
So I want to ask my dad something. Do you have any questions for Rebecca?
Well, I was just going to make a comment that I worked at one of the plants here in town for 30 years. And, of course, every single year we were out there at the pit behind the plant trying to learn how to fight fires. And you're taking people that went to school for 1,000 years but don't know anything about equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And they're dragging us out there, and we got to go through the smokehouse, and then we got to put out this gasoline fire. And we're all, most of us, there's a few jocks that are really happy with the task. The rest of us hoping we don't get burnt. We're standing behind this big, spray from the hose, and everybody's like this, worried about it. So I really admire what it takes to go do all that. I did have a summer job one time where I was a fire watcher.
Fire watch, yes.
Oh yeah. Well, it's really not very sophisticated. You stand there with an extinguisher for the whole summer, waiting for something to happen.
Right.
And usually nothing happens. But toward the end of the summer, I actually had a hose in this case, not an extinguisher, but I had a hose, and there was like a chemical loading dock, and it was so full of chemicals from train cars, loading and unloading, that finally, when they were doing some welding around it, they caught the stairway on fire,
Oh, wow.
And I went, "Oh, this is great!" It was really not a fire; it was just a little bit of smoldering. But so I guess the little boy in me, was excited to do that. But if it became anything real, I wanted no part of it. So I admire what you do.
It's definitely a adrenaline rush.
Oh yeah,
they're fun.
Yeah, my pulse rate got higher in all those occasions.
Yes.
But it's so great to have you here to talk about this and your dedication, your service, Rebecca.
Thank you.
And Bonnie for supporting her. That's really
absolutely. And I can't say enough. I mean, people like y'all, you just give so much, and I'm honored that you even came to my house tonight. Like, she doesn't get paid to come here. She's just doing this, and this is our little show, huh, Dad?
Yep.
And I'm just honored that you would even come.
Thank you for inviting me, even though I was like, what did I get myself into?
I know.
I'm so
Bonnie,
nervous. What am I doing? Like, I might seem like a real big people-y person, but like deep down, I'm like really shy.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
after all that,
but so all I have to say is, like, I love Bonnie so much. No, I do.
I love you too.
And I know she's like salt of the earth. She's one of these people that's truly good. Like, she means well. She does good. I mean, I can't say enough good about you.
Oh, thank you.
But you do.
Aww.
She was there, like, through all of Lindsay's stuff. And so, like, when she says something about somebody, I listen. I take, because she's right. She's always right with people. You are always right with people. And sometimes she'll be like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, maybe not, huh? But like, when she loves you, and she was like, she'd be great. And
I keep her young and hip. That's why.
Yeah, you do. Your grandma over there, huh? I'm sure.
Gosh, I'd be an old hag without her.
I'm like one of those hell yeah friends. You want to do this?
I always tell her she's like a new puppy all the time.
Just like, well, look, life is too short. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
So
Eat
you
dessert
have to,
first.
like the little things. The
I know.
little things is what you have to cherish.
No, you're right. No, you're so right.
And I think that's what I'm saying. This job humbles you. You see stuff. So you're
it does.
Absolutely.
So you have to embrace life.
No,
Right.
you absolutely do. And every time I sit in her chair, she teaches me something for sure about life. And I'm just so grateful you came. I know you came all the way from Chalmette. That's a little drive.
That's a little drive.
That's a
That's
definite
a
little
ways.
drive. So thank you for coming tonight. Thank you, Bonnie,
Even
for
after a
coming
bad
too.
Saints lost too. So I'm like,
I know. Huh? So I appreciate y'all both being here. Thank you, Bonnie,
Thank
for coming.
you for
because I know
having
you have to do
us.
this. Yes. Anything
It
else,
was
Dad?
fun. Thank you, Mary.
No, we are still.
we went everywhere. It was like a spider web.
Well, our spiders. Wait, I made our spiders. Oh, that's my new thing. Like, I'm so excited. I'm subbing on Friday, and just can't wait. I'm going to bring these to do as a craft. It's so fun. Anyways,
The kids will enjoy those for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, I got my spider on too right here. So.
Yeah, Dad has his spider.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, honey, what do we have next week? We have a open date that we're going to fill, right?
We actually had our first cancellation.
Yeah.
And so, but I have two people that might fill that spot. That I have two really great people that I'm thinking about that are going to be. And the cancellation is because something with the building. It's not because they wanted to cancel. Somebody, one of our family member that is actually going to do like a bed and breakfast and pizza place in New Roads. But it's like a historical house, and there's all kind of rules, and her husband's an architect.
And the process is slower than
it's slower. So they're going to come in the spring, and, we didn't want them to come and, not have, when it's going to open and all those things. But anyways, so I have two people that I'm thinking about for next week. If they can't come, then you're stuck with us.
Yeah, well, and I have to go into the research mode at that point. So.
Oh,
Well,
God.
look, thanks everybody for showing up. We had a whole bunch of people come through and say hello, and we put most of them up on the wall there. Of course, if you missed the live show, you'll be catching this delayed, but it'll be fun anyway. We want to thank again our guests, Rebecca and Bonnie, and everybody. You all have a good evening, and we'll see you either next Tuesday or Wednesday. We're
Yeah,
not
we don't
sure
know.
yet. We'll let you know. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.